everyone. This week's Torah portion contains a mitzvah that you cannot go and perform. And that is because the Torah says, Ki yikarei, if you chance upon a bird's nest and you want to take the chicks, the young babies, you cannot take them in the presence of the mother. Rather, you should send away the mother and then take the children, so you do not traumatize or cause pain or anguish even to the mother bird. And this is a tremendous example of compassion for all of God's creatures. However, the word ki yikarei means if you chance upon. It could also be pronounced by changing the vowels ki yikre, if you are called, meaning to say that there are no chances, there are no coincidences in life. If you experienced and you saw this bird's nest, it's a commandment and a calling from God upon you to perform this act of compassion. And this is the mindset that we all have to adopt every day in our daily lives. That there are no coincidences. Everything that happens in our life is for a purpose. A matter of fact, the word mikra, which means a chance occurrence, could be broken down into two words, rak me Hashem, only from God. And this question begins with our very existence. You see, everyone agrees that the world was created. The question is, was it created by something or someone? Those who believe in the Big Bang Theory believe that the world came about by something, a random Big Bang that had no purpose and meaning to it. It was just a coincidence, by chance. However, if you believe that God created the world, you're saying that the world was created by someone. Now, when you create something, you only create it because there's something you want or something you need, or else you wouldn't create it. And therefore, if God created the world, then He wants something from us. He needs something from us. And if God created me, again, it's not by chance, it's because God wants something from me and needs something from me. And therefore, it infuses every day with meaning and purpose. But we have to look around in our lives and see the circumstances we're in and find the purpose that we are being called for, because every encounter, wherever we find ourselves, is a calling by God to have an impact, to have an influence, to do something positive with the circumstances we find ourselves in. And that's what this month of Elul and the high holidays is all about. This is the month that we turn to God and say, God, you created this world and you created me for a reason, for a purpose. How am I doing in fulfilling my purpose for which you created me? It's a self-evaluation of, are we accomplishing what we were set here in this world to accomplish? A matter of fact, the Baal Shem Tov says that sometimes a soul is sent into this world to live an entire lifespan of 70, 80 years just to perform one act of kindness for one person. So when you meet someone and they ask you for an act of kindness, if you say no, you may be missing the whole purpose for your soul's descent into this world. I tell a story about a little boy, like 10 years old. He walks into a candy shop back in the day, goes over to the payphone, puts in a dime, which was the cost in those days, and he dials a number. The candy shop owner is watching him. And when the woman on the other end picks up, he says, "Hi, my name is Mike. I cut grass on Sundays. I was wondering if I could work for you and cut your grass." And he overhears the woman saying, "Sorry, but we already have someone who cuts our grass." And then the boy says, "But I do a really good job." And the woman says, "Well, the one who cuts grass for us also does a really good job." And he says, "Well, I'll make your garden so beautiful. I'll pull out all the weeds. It'll be the most magnificent garden and grass cut." And the woman says, the boy who does it for us does a beautiful job. It looks magnificent. He also pulls out all the weeds and makes sure that everything looks magnificent." And the boy says, "Okay," and he hangs up. As he's walking out of the shop, the candy shop owner says, "I'm sorry, you didn't get that job." And the little boy says, "I do have that job." He says, "So why are you asking her to hire you?" And the little boy looked at the candy shop owner and said, "I was just calling to check up on myself to see if I'm doing a good job and if she's happy with me." This is the month where we make that call to God, and we call out to God with the shofar and we say, "God, how are we doing? Are you happy with the work we're doing, with the job we're performing for you?" Because if God put us here, that's for a reason, for a purpose. because there are no chances and there are no coincidences. Have a wonderful day.